Kalvin Phillips, the 26-year-old English international, looks like he's ready to make the move from Leeds to Manchester City for a reported fee of £42 million. He's been with Leeds since he made his first team debut with the club back in 2015. For more perspective on this move, we're going to welcome into the show the aforementioned Aage Fjortoft. But Craig, I want to start with you. From the Manchester City perspective, this the right move?
I think this would be good business. Like a lot of people, I'm a big fan of this guy. He had an injury-ravaged season, but he's a regular international footballer now. He has got a lot of Premier League experience. He's very dynamic, can play multiple positions across the middle of the park, or he can go into the back line. Passes the ball well. Not as well as some of the City players, so that's going to be an up in the standard for him. But bearing in mind that Fernandinho's gone, you know, you've got Rodri there, who I think is a terrific player, and I don't think Kalvin Phillips walks straight into the team for me, because I think Rodri's a terrific player. But when you think about it, they've had Rodri and Fernandinho, so they've been able to balance it. They haven't often played with two more defensive midfielders, but sometimes they have. But you've got to have cover, haven't you? You've got to have alternatives, and I think this is a great move because he's one of England's best talents.
Yeah, and Craig mentions Fernandinho moving on then, but of course Rodri's still very much in the mix for Manchester City. Is this how you would have strengthened the City squad with this move?
Well, I think well, Craig analyzes well, but I want to add the English part of it. I mean, the three big signings he's done is Grealish, Haaland, and Phillips, two of them English, and I think that is important also for Manchester City to show that. But I think this is a matter of great business. Phillips, his dynamic is enormous. He's got I don't know if it's an English phrase, he got a contagious way of playing football, because when you see him play, he wants to get the players around him doing that as well. And you can see that Pep Guardiola now is on a mission. He changes a bit in and around the team, getting new kind of skills in there. And in this mad world of fees all over the place, I think 42 million sounds like quite good business, as bizarre as it might sound. So I think that this is great for Manchester City, and they're absolutely strengthening themselves. And I think it's interesting to see how Liverpool, Manchester City, so narrow, of course, last season, kind of mirror themselves in the way they're signing players. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, and why English? You said Manchester City need English players. Why?
I think it's important when you have foreign owners, you have a foreign coach, mostly foreign players. I think it's important to have a core of good English players in your team, because we should never forget that Manchester City is an English club, and we have to stick to that. And they're playing in the English Premier League, and maybe call me old-fashioned, but I think there should be some English. I came to England in 1993. I was a guest at TV programs telling about how to be a foreigner in English football. Now it's all different. So I think that it's so important that Manchester City also have that, because most of the fans in the stadium are also kind of the English fans going in there. So I think that is important, and I don't think that should be underestimated.
What about the player perspective here? You said you don't see him walking into the 11. It's a World Cup year. There's months till the tournament. That could be a concern.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose I think it will be a big grind for this lad to leave Leeds, his home club. But you know, maybe Bernardo Silva gets this move to Barcelona that he seems to want, but then they're completely different players. Obviously, you know, Silva can't do what Phillips does, and Phillips can't do what Silva does. That was a kind of generic midfield for them last year. If Silva doesn't go, and some people, I've seen some criticism of Rodri, and of course every player's up for criticism, but I really think he does a terrific job there. A lot of people think he slows it down. He does. I think he's a fantastic footballer. I really do.
What about the idea of playing them both together and kind of changing what City do?
Well,
I don't think. Pivot?
Well, I don't think they need to do that in the Premier League so much, and I think recent history would tell you that themselves in Liverpool have sort of bullied a lot of the teams. They haven't needed two more defensive midfielders, but as we know, the Champions League, this sort of noose around the neck, if for want of a better phrase, and again this year, 2-0 up or whatever, I can't remember the scoreline, but 2 goals up,
That's where they need it.
In the Bernabeu, maybe there's a change of thinking for Pep Guardiola. And, you know, Jan mentioned the English, and look, it's not the most important thing, but I think it just shows you where kind of the English players are at the moment. Some of them, he tried to sign Kane, he signed Grealish, he's got Foden, he's got Stones, he's got Walker, and now we're talking Kalvin Phillips as well. So I think it kind of tells you where the English national team is that, or should be, is that a lot of these guys and managers are not just looking abroad straight away, wherein a few years ago, a lot of them wouldn't have touched many of the English players. So, yeah, I think this would be really, really good business for Man City.
Go on, Jan.
I think that is a very good point, because I think that is also a compliment to Gareth Southgate. You have to give him that he has made a good English team. And it's also good news for Gareth Southgate that Kalvin Phillips, as Craig was saying, he is at this moment he's not up there with the passing qualities there is in a Pep Guardiola team. But you know, he goes to the big master. He will learn so much from Pep Guardiola. We can criticize him for this and that, but he's a fantastic coach, and he will improve Phillips. No disrespect to Jesse Marsh, no disrespect to Bielsa. We've all seen the heart that Phillips have had for Leeds United, but he will improve as a football player going to Manchester City.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.